My London flat has a private gym, a pool, and the most incredible views, all for less than £1,800 a month. But I almost missed out completely because it didn't tick all my boxes. Biggest mistake I nearly made. Here's the thing, most people are doing flat hunting in London completely wrong. The strategy I use to find this place go against everything you've been told about finding a place to rent in London. And the best part? It actually works. So I'm going to show you the entire flat. Every room, every amenity, and the view that sold me. And I'm going to break down exactly how I found it. Here is how I went from rejecting this listing to signing the lease. So I started looking for a new flat in June, when I actually had my current lease until November. That might sound over the top, but hear me out. This gave me something I'd never had before. Time to figure out what my partner and I wanted, what was actually important for us, without the usual London flat hunting panic. At first we were looking for 2-bedroom flats in East London, near the Thames, either north or south of the river, for a budget of around £1,700 per month. And because we were looking at bigger places, no flat shares or studios, I felt like the competition wasn't as fierce. Properties were not disappearing within hours like they usually do, though I still went to viewings where 10 other applicants were waiting at the door, because it's London after all. All those viewings literally became my personal masterclass in London property hunting. Each apartment taught me something new about what I actually needed, versus what I thought I wanted. And honestly, the flats I rejected prove exactly why this one was worth waiting for. Let me show you what I mean by walking you through 3 flats that almost made the cut, because this is where most people get it wrong. When I started my search, my main criteria was having 2 bedrooms, which is quite funny when you know how this story ends. I wanted that second bedroom because I work from home most of the time, and I wanted a dedicated office space, and I wanted a proper room to host my family visiting from overseas. The challenge was finding something decent, somewhat central, for under £2,000 a month. Let me show you why that's harder than it sounds. First example, we saw this gorgeous place for £2,300 a month. Stunning views, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, everything you'd want, but we simply couldn't afford it. Then there was this very promising listing, a 2-bedroom flat within walking distance of Tower Bridge, advertised at £1,400 a month. On paper, perfect, but in reality, the second bedroom could barely fit a single bed, which completely defeated the purpose of having this extra room. And finally, we saw a flat in Whitechapel, advertised at £1,900 a month. It was big, airy, bright, and I seriously considered going for it. But in the end, we said no, because it was at the top of our budget and completely unfurnished. So when you're already stretching financially, furnishing an entire flat is just not doable. Then the most unique, unexpected thing happened. I actually met a good agent, the kind I thought didn't exist in real life, and definitely not for rental properties. But here I am on the phone with this man who takes a good 10 minutes to ask me about me, my background, what I'm looking for, and what are my deal breakers. I was so shocked that I actually struggled answering his questions because no agent had ever asked me that before. Then this agent took it upon himself to organize a viewing day for us. He used my very own technique of batching viewings for us directly. I couldn't believe it. In my opinion, that's the most efficient and productive way to view properties. If you want to learn more about the why and how of viewing days, I made a video on it. I'll link it up here if you want to watch it. Anyway, as soon as I entered the flat, I knew it was the one. It didn't have 2 bedrooms, only one, but it didn't bother me anymore all of a sudden. Here's what the flat looks like. When you open the door, we have this big hallway. It basically was its own room. The only issue was that there was no window. But we did use this corner as a home office space and it worked well. It was separated from the bedroom and the living room and there was enough space. Then on the left, there was the bathroom that was a very good size. I love the wall of mirrors, the fully tiled walls, the quality of the materials, the bath, the little shelf to put our stuff, and behind this mirror we actually had more storage, so it was perfect. There was also a full cupboard in this hallway, which was perfect for storing suitcases, hoovers, and other bulky stuff. Then there was the bedroom, which was also huge. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but this is actually a super king-size bed, and we still had plenty of space to move around. And there was a big integrated wardrobe, which was super handy. Then we're entering the living room/dining room. Again, the room is way bigger than a regular living room, so it felt very airy and spacious. There was another cupboard, which had the boiler in it, so not as much space, but still handy to have. Then this is the kitchen. It was maybe my tiny regret. It was a bit small and dark for my liking, as I love to cook and spend a lot of time in this room. But it was still a huge upgrade compared to my last flat. We had tons of storage and a full-size fridge. Now, it wouldn't be a full apartment tour if I didn't share all the extras. First of all, there's the view, which was absolutely breathtaking. We're facing full west, so we could admire the sunset every day of the year. I love that we could see both trees and also the city in the background. And it was super quiet. Honestly, I couldn't get enough of this view. Now in the building itself, we had a lot of extra perks. There was secure bike storage, a parking space for the car, a 24-hour concierge team, a water feature because why not? We also had a gym facing the Thames, a swimming pool also facing the Thames and Canary Wharf, a riverside private terrace with a barbecue and tables, and if it wasn't enough, we also had a free use of a little apartment furnished with chairs, tables, and crockery. For hosting a party, for instance. Now, let me give you the honest truth about actually using these facilities. Because if the pool is freezing and the gym is disgusting, there is no point. Both the gym and the pool were open 5 am to 11 pm every day, and we had to book slots in advance. At first, I thought it would be annoying, but it turned out to be amazing. It actually means you get the entire gym or swimming pool all to yourself every single time. That's next level privacy that you'd never get at a regular gym. The downside is that sometimes finding an available slot was challenging. The gym especially was packed, especially between 4 pm and 10 pm, basically when everybody finished work. But we made it work by being flexible with timing and booking in advance. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't use the gym nearly as much as I thought I would when I first moved in. The pool, however, was a completely different story. I love swimming, it's genuinely my favorite way to exercise, so I used it a lot. In summer, being able to cool down in the pool was absolutely amazing. But even in winter, it was perfectly heated and maintained, so I really enjoyed it all year round. Overall, these facilities didn't just sit there looking fancy, they actually improved my daily quality of life. And when you know that a gym membership in London with access to a swimming pool can easily cost £100 a month, the facilities really added value. I still can't believe how amazing this place was. Honestly, it was even better than my previous one. And I actually already made a video for this one. I'll link it here if you're interested. This flat was located about a 20-minute walk from Canada Water Underground, which is in Zone 2. It was a slightly longer walk than I wanted, but the perks of the building made it worth it. And we also had several bus stops nearby for a quick ride to the tube station or directly to central London. Now, let's talk money. The rent for this flat was £1,800 a month. Council tax was £140 a month. Electricity was about £100 a month. Wi-Fi was £25, and we didn't pay for water. So just over £2,000 a month for accommodation cost altogether. And we were two living in this flat, so about £1,000 a month each for all accommodation cost, which is pretty decent for London. The lease started 2 months later, so I did have a 2-month overlap with my previous lease. But I was able to negotiate to leave early, so I ended up paying double rent for only 1 month, which to be honest was a bit of a stretch. But it was well worth the peace of mind of not having to find something last minute. In terms of timeline, we saw this flat on a Thursday evening, applied Friday morning, and we were accepted by Saturday. The speed came down to 2 strategic moves I always make when applying. First, we offered to pay 3 months upfront, something I've done every time I've moved, and it works wonder. And here's the thing, you're not entering a bidding war, you're just paying more rent sooner, which gives your application serious visibility without actually costing you extra. Second, we were not afraid to negotiate. We added a special condition requesting for the bed to be removed from the bedroom, despite the place being part furnished, because we wanted our own bed. The landlord said yes to both. Yes to getting paid 3 months upfront, but also yes to getting rid of the bed. What's funny is that I actually completely discarded this listing when I saw it online, because I was set on a 2-bedroom flat. But I'm so glad I got to see it anyway. I went to plenty of viewings before this flat, and I truly believe that this is what allowed me to instantly realize that this place was special. Because on paper, it was a lot more expensive than what I was ready to pay for a 1-bedroom flat. But being able to compare with my mental catalogue of dozens of places, I was able to realize the potential and act fast. This is exactly why I'm passionate about sharing hidden gems with you. I almost missed this incredible place because I was too focused on my original criteria. Don't make the same mistake. Get my weekly London top picks, where I find flats like this one that others overlook. The link to sign up is below and it's completely free. If my story inspired you but you're not sure where to start with London flat hunting, I've got you covered. My ultimate beginner's guide breaks down everything you need to know. Click here to watch it next.